Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this virtual admissions information session for our pre-K and lower school programs here at Manlius Pebble Hill School. We're delighted that you're taking the time to watch this recording. My name is Lisa Rainey. I'm the Director of Admissions here at MPH. I'm also a parent of a lower school student, so happy to share some of those experiences with you today. I'm joined by my wonderful colleagues from here in the admissions office, as well as our head of lower school, so you'll have a chance to meet everyone here today as we share more information about our curriculum, our philosophy here, and the amazing things that happen at Manlius Pebble Hill School. So we'll cover a lot of ground in a short session. We won't be able to cover all the amazing things that there are to know about MPH, but we hope to cover some of the most exciting ones. So first off on our schedule, of course, meeting our crew here today, we'll go over some quick facts about our school, an overview of our pre-K and lower school curriculum. We'll talk about the admissions process and how to plan ahead for that. And then we'll learn more about ways to stay connected with the people you see here today on our panel, as well as other members of our community who are eager to connect with you. So with that in mind, I want to make sure you meet all of my wonderful colleagues here. So I'll turn it over to Mrs. Amy Mann and Mrs. Francie Van Ostenbridge from the admissions office. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Lisa. My name is Amy Mann. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions. I've been on the admissions team here for 6 years, but part of the bigger MPH community for 10 years. I was a parent before I became an employee. My child is long gone, but I'm still here, which indicates what kind of a special community this is. We all love to talk about MPH. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we look forward to staying in touch.
And I'm Francie Van Ostenbridge. I'm the admissions counselor here at MPH. I'm relatively new, but I did grow up in Maryland, going to a small independent school, very much like MPH. So I have a good sense of what it's like to navigate the academic and social environment in a school like this. And I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thanks, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. So again, we won't be able to touch on all the exciting things about MPH today, but we're going to get you some highlights. So some good things to know about our school. We are the only true independent pre-K through 12 school in Central New York. So we're really one of a kind. And an independent school means that we are a private school. We don't receive state or federal funding. We're overseen by a board of directors, board of trustees, and we don't have a particular religious affiliation. So with all of those factors in mind, we're really the only school of our kind in this area. We're accredited by multiple agencies, so that's important to know. You can see that on the screen. And we are small by design. We have about 321 students right now from more than 30 local school districts. So it's pretty impressive the distance some of our families will come to make sure their students can have this education that we offer here. A couple of other important things to know: about 40% of our students do come from diverse backgrounds. That's a question that we get a lot as we're talking to families, and we're very happy to share that and celebrate that here. And in one shape or another, the school has evolved into many different forms over the years, but for more than 150 years, we've been offering an excellent education here at Manlius Pebble Hill School. I also want to bring your attention, if you haven't checked out our niche profile recently, there's a lot of great new content on there. And also we've been rated once again one of their best schools. So only about 2% of schools in the country have that distinction. And we're really happy to have that award yet again this year. So check out the niche profile, lots of new and updated information for you there. As you learn more about MPH, and if you've been on our website or interacted with our team already, you might be familiar with some of this information, but that's our mission statement. It drives everything that we do here, along with our 5 core values of authenticity, respect, curiosity, kindness, and agency. And as you see photos and hear stories and learn more today and beyond, you'll see that those values really pop up in everything that we do. So it's not just something we have on our website. It really is embedded in the lived experience here today. And we're very happy to have joining us for our recording today, Mrs. Amy Abdo. She's here, our head of lower school, and we're really excited to be able to share with you her experiences as a faculty member here, as an administrator, and more about the amazing things we do in our early learning program. So Amy, please, happy to hand this over to you.
Thank you so much. So I'm Amy Abdo, and I grew up here in Syracuse, graduated from West Tennessee, and was one of those kids that in 7th grade, I announced to my family I knew I wanted to be a teacher. So I followed that path. I went to University at Buffalo and then ended up in New York City at NYU. Out of grad school, I fell into independent school education. I was at the Marymount School for Girls on the Upper East Side for a year. And then I grew up as a teacher at the Dalton School for 9 years, where I had a really creative, amazing experience with a group of very gifted educators. So when I moved back to Syracuse to be with family, my husband and I were very excited to come back and be here with family. And MPH was my main place that I wanted to work. I interviewed here and I came outside after my interview, and the kindergarten kids were doing a very MPH thing. They were outside at a tree and they excitedly ran over to me. I introduced myself and they said, "We are tapping a tree for sap." And they just were lit up and excited and so invested in that experience. And I called my family that day and I said, that is where I have to work. So 15 years later, here I am. The majority of my experience has been in the lower school classroom. I have been a 4th and 5th grade teacher. And then the past several years, I've been an assistant head of the lower school and now head of the lower school. So it's a job that really is a gift. And I have enjoyed the time with the teachers and the students and the staff every day. So I think we are a pretty terrific, amazing community. I am biased, of course, but it's a special place. We, as Lisa said, we are able to live our core values. I think from a lower school perspective, pre-K to 5, the small class size really is transformative. Our kids are able to get the differentiation and the time and attention that they need. Our teachers are not overstressed and overtaxed. The barometer in the room is light and airy and able to focus on learning. We are not operating in emergency mode. We are operating in a place where we can breathe, lean into tough conversations, pause for teachable moments, and really just allow the classroom to be creative and follow the path and the pace that the students need. So we have referred to the brain science. Our employees have read this amazing book. It's called NeuroTeach. It blends the ideas of neuroscience with education and best practices. So we're informed by that. And we do a lot with social emotional learning, explicit teaching of those skills. So that idea of read the room is just not available to really any students. So we explicitly teach self-regulation, collaboration, cooperation. So our children have access to those skills and that toolbox. And so they really can interact with one another and their teachers in a way that works best for them and allows them to be their best self. They have daily core health PE, which we believe in. We have multiple times a day where they get outside together to play, move their bodies, breathe the fresh air. It's just a really huge part of their ability to succeed as learners. The small class size is amazing, and the pre-K to 12 aspect of MPH, I think, is a real gift. It's very common to see high school students, upper school students interacting with lower school students. They volunteer in the classrooms, they pass each other and give high fives in the hall. There is a real rapport there of care that really pushes our older students to be their best selves, and our little ones look up to them. They are celebrities, really, in the minds of the lower school kids. We're not bound by Common Core, but we do follow some really strategic science-based curriculum when it comes to literacy, math, and the whole child and social emotional learning. But we aren't on a pace where we are teaching to a test and we feel rushed. Again, we're able to really respond to the needs of our kids and our class. And so that's a real breath of fresh air and something that we take very seriously here. We are one of only 2 schools in central New York that's following the science of reading in all K through 5 classrooms. So every single one of our kindergarten through 5th grade lead teachers has had Orton Gillingham training, and we are doing that with all of our students. So this isn't being done as a pullout. We're not waiting for the kids to falter as readers. We are giving them this science-based instruction that's really the gold standard of literacy. We're making that accessible to all of our kids so that they are able to be confident, comfortable readers. And our retention rate is over 90%. Once kids are here and families are here, they see the value and they see all the different unique things we have to offer, and they become a really valuable and important part of our community. So pre-K is in its own building. My office is there on purpose. I'm in the Center for Early Learning. We are little beautiful brick little building right on Jamesville Road. We have 2 pre-K classrooms in the CEL, and we cap at 15 students in each class. Those classes have 2 co-lead teachers and 1 TA. And then there's also 3 other adults that are over here in the CEL. I am here. Our social and emotional lower school teacher, Marie Riccadello, is here. And then Alyssa Palmer, who's lower school support, and she coordinates lower school events, she is here. So in those moments where a little one might need some one-to-one, there's plenty of adults that are over here to help give them that time and breathing room. And so the class can continue to learn and grow. They have the opportunity to do some literacy work. We do word work called Haggerty. The little ones think it's word games. They're learning a lot. They're not even really necessarily aware. We follow calendar math where they learn about days of the week, progression of months, what was yesterday, what's tomorrow. They learn about patterns and making predictions. That's all part of their math program. They have the opportunity to take music, Spanish, art. I'm also the pre-K yoga teacher, which I love, and then a social and emotional wellness class. So that's all part of their pre-K education. Our school day runs about 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we have extended day available until 5:30 every evening. And that extended day piece is included in the pre-K and K tuition. Our academic year runs from September to June. We get out a bit earlier than the public schools, but our February and April break are aligned with local public schools. So this gives you an idea of the pre-K kind of typical schedule. Everyone knows that things don't always go according to plan when it comes to children. So we do our best to give that structure. I think they thrive in knowing what to expect, but we also have that flexibility. So if there's changes or anything might come up, we teach the kids to be adaptable, but we also really do work to follow the schedule because it helps them to feel comfortable and safe in an environment where they know what to expect. The teachers go over a schedule that is pictures and words every morning. We don't expect our pre-Kers to be able to read, so they know what to expect of the day. And they also have food is obviously a big part of any child's day. So they have a morning snack. Our Culinary dining service provides lunch, and then we have an afternoon snack. And for any of our children that are in extended day, there's a nut-free snack provided for them as well. So we really look to give them a lot of opportunities for healthy food choices, outdoor fresh air time, and that play. There's also a little bit of skills work involved so that they have access to phonemes, letter sounds, and those foundational skills to be, stronger, more confident, comfortable readers and mathematicians. So I think I've talked about our lower school. We have really small class sizes. It's typical for a lower school class K-5 to be anywhere from 13 to 15 to 16 kids, depending on the age. And we'll often have a lead teacher and a TA, especially in the younger grades, so kindergarten, first and second. Again, so there's just multiple adults in the room so that the kids have that ability to check in and have that differentiation. The teachers have agency over our curriculum so that if something comes up where a teacher has a certain passion or a special expertise that they want to share, they're able to do that. And the kids have some agency certainly in the curriculum as well. We can't do every single thing every child wants, but we have definitely had years where certain groups of kids say they're particularly interested in space or the ocean, and the teachers are able to have the flexibility to dive deeper or plan a unit based on that interest and really help the kids go deep and explore that in a way that they really love. All of our students take Spanish. So pre-K to 5, our lower school students take Spanish, and they all also have art, dance, music, technology, and core health PE classes. Our lower school K to 5 day is also 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we have that extended day coverage available until 5:30 for all our lower school parents. Busing is also an option. I think we have over 20 school districts locally that come in. And so our families will do an array of using the bus at dismissal, parent pickup, or they might use extended day. So this kind of gives you an overview of what we see to be a really kind of healthy, well-balanced lower school curriculum. For literacy, I said that we follow the science of reading in Orton Gillingham specifically. We are really passionate about giving kids those tools to be able to successfully read, and that explicit daily instruction is what the science has shown that gives kids that access to being able to truly decode words. So they're not just memorizing sight words, they have the tools to be able to decode and comprehend fluently. So as texts get more and more challenging as they get older, they have that toolbox to be able to really parse apart those words and know what they mean. Our math curriculum is informed by the SFUSD curriculum. The San Francisco United Free School District opened their curriculum up. It's gotten accolades from all over the country. We love it because it provides a framework that's totally flexible. The curriculum is free and open on Google. Our teachers are not reinventing the wheel, but they have a structure that they can refer to, but then work at a pace that works for them. They also can bring in other manipulatives, slow down, and pull in some different hands-on projects so that we're really able to teach math in the way that we know is best for our kids. There's a lot of questioning, a lot of real-world examples that are brought in, a very Socratic method of questioning. So there's a back and forth, thinking through different ideas and exploring how math really can play out in the day-to-day lives of kids and adults. Our encores I've talked about, they really bolster a full and rich curriculum that allows the kids access at a very young age to the arts, world language, social and emotional learning, core health. In PE, we really take a 360 approach to giving the kids access to how to work through different aspects of teamwork, sportsmanship, collaboration, self-regulation. So it's not just focused on throwing and kicking. There's all those other skills that are explicitly taught that are a big part of any physical education class. And after our kids are given that explicit systematic instruction each day, we open it up so that they can do collaborating and hands-on learning, so that they can connect with each other, connect with other kids and students in the building, connect with other teachers, so that they can really do a deep dive into those different lessons that they're taught and figure out where their passions are and what they're most inspired by. We also have our community programs, which has the extended day. There's a coverage program that offers childcare through the vacations. There's different clubs that are offered. And we have an amazing summer camp where the campus is bustling with kids from all over for all of our different summer camp programs.
Well, thank you, Amy. It's so wonderful to have you here to share the thought process, the intentionality behind our curriculum and everything that we do here. And you can see the difference, our kids in their skills development, but also their confidence as a result of the way that the support in the curriculum is designed here. So you can really see the benefits very quickly. In terms of eligibility, as we kind of shift towards a conversation about the admissions process and applying in terms of eligibility for our pre-K and kindergarten students, a couple of good things to know. So age requirements for our pre-K students, as you can see here, they'll need to be 3 years of age by June 1, the year of entry. So if you're planning ahead for fall 2024 entry, of course, the child will need to be 3 by June 1st. For kindergarten applicants, again, for next fall, they'll need to be 5 by December 1st of next fall. Sometimes we get questions from families, should we start now? Should we wait a year? You know, we can kind of advise families throughout the admissions process what might be the right approach for your child. So we're happy to have conversations about that. And children must be potty trained. We know that sometimes things happen in our lower years, but for the most part, students do need to be potty trained in order to come into our pre-K and K programs. In terms of the actual application process, again, some planning ahead. Typically, we operate on rolling admissions. We will caution our pre-K families out there that because of the cap on those classrooms, that can often fill sooner than some of our other grades. So sooner is always better. The 24-25 application is available now. So if you're watching this and ready to get started, please jump in. The application is on our website. If you have trouble finding that, reach out. We're happy to send that link to you. In general, as you think about kindergarten on up through the lower school, we recommend that families get everything in by April 1st. That allows us to give you priority consideration for admission, tuition assistance, which we'll talk about in a moment, and payment plan options. So we'll certainly accept applications after that date, but if you're thinking about things like payment plans and tuition assistance, as many of our families are, then you'll certainly want to start that process sooner. And we'll talk a little bit about classroom capacity in a moment. It's also a good reason to start the process sooner rather than later. Now, the nuts and bolts of the pre-K and kindergarten admissions process, which is a little bit different than for some of our later years. Of course, the application that we just spoke about, the parent questionnaire, that's something that you'll need to fill out as part of the family. There's a series of Let's Play videos that are completed at home and submitted for our team to review. And all of this happens through a portal. So when you submit an application, that gives you access to your application portal. And that's where you can access all of these documents, your checklist that will guide you through this process. If your student, sometimes pre-K children don't have a prior teacher, maybe they've been in a pre-K, maybe they've had an in-home care, maybe this is the first time they'll be in a more formal setting. But if they've had a previous teacher in some capacity, we like to see an assessment from that teacher to understand where the child is developmentally. If a student has a 504 IEP, they don't usually in the pre-K and K, but if that's something that you already have, we'd like to see that too, to make sure we have appropriate supports and resources here. And we love to give campus tours. So usually the campus tour is sort of the first look for families as they're navigating the process. As we move through a little bit later, we might invite the student, the child, to come in for a classroom visit. That's usually for a couple of hours in the morning to see how they do, how they interact with the other children. Is this a good fit? That typically happens a bit later in the process because we want to make sure as the admissions team here that things are looking good. It looks like this should be a good fit. The visit should confirm that everything is going to go well. We don't want to bring a child into that immersion visit and have it not work out. That's just not a kindness to bring a family and a child into that. So that's why, by design, the student visit, that immersive visit, happens a little bit later. For the most part, your tour is going to be individual. We'd like to give you our full attention. If there are specific questions that you have or certain things you really want to see and talk about, that gives us the ability to do that for you. But we are hoping to do a group pre-K visit or a play group early in the new year, because that's something we had done a few years ago. It went away during the pandemic, and we're hoping to sort of resume that. So if that's something that might be of interest to you, let us know, and all the more reason to get this process started so that we know that you're interested for next fall. But we're excited about potentially resuming that in a couple of months. Okay, so for our older grades, for lower school, grades 1 through 5, a little bit of a different process since the students are a little bit older, still starting with that application. For students who are already in school, we need an official current year report card and the prior year report card where that's applicable. We will need a teacher assessment form. And you can, again, navigate all of this through our application portal. Definitely a 504 IEP if that pertains to your child. We'll need to see that. And again, a campus tour and a classroom visit as we get a little bit later in the process. That's important to us to make sure it's a good fit for the family, for the student, for the school, that it's a good fit really in all directions. And as you think about, we're often asked, well, how do you make admissions decisions? What kind of things are you looking at? We do want to see that students are able to do the work here. We have a different kind of workload than some other schools, and we want to bring in a child who can be successful here. That's our #1 goal for parents, for family members, certainly for us too. Classroom composition and capacity is part of that. And that is something that, is beyond the control of a family. For example, our rising 2nd grade for next fall, we have some capacity there. Rising 6th grade is a little bigger, so we have fewer opportunities to enroll new students. So we're happy to have those conversations with families as they pop up and express interest, but that's an important thing to know as well. And as I mentioned, we talk about this a lot, but it's really a fit in both directions. So we want to make sure we can meet a student and family where they are, that we have the right resources for that, and that it's a good fit for the school too. With that in mind, we do really prioritize transparency. So occasionally we work with the family and maybe it looks like this may not work out or might not work out at this time. We try to be very transparent about that, especially when it comes to those classroom visits for the child. We don't want to bring a child in and have that experience. They usually really love it. They're very welcomed by our students. And then if that doesn't work out, that's not a positive experience and not the kind of thing we want to put a child and a family through. So we're very careful about that. That's why the student visit happens a little bit later in the process. We want to make sure that's a positive experience for everyone. Okay. Now that we've talked a little bit about our program and the application process, every day we talk to families who have questions about tuition assistance. So very common, and we get it. An independent school education is an investment. The whole family is really on board with it, of time, energy, resources. We have parents who drive an hour each way to drop off their kids here at MPH. So it's a big commitment in a lot of different ways. So when it comes specifically to tuition assistance, the way that it works here for our lower school, campus-wide, about 45% of our families do receive tuition assistance, so quite a good number. The process itself is pretty straightforward. It's something called the Parent Financial Statement, and we work with a financial aid service provider called School and Student Services. You see that here for families to upload all of that information. Now, I will tell you, because pre-K and lower school tuition rates are our lower tuition rates, and we have a very high staff to student ratio in those grades, there's not a lot of tuition support available for pre-K and our lower school. We do have some, but not as much as you might see for students in the middle and upper school. So that's important to keep in mind, but certainly still, let's have that conversation, still go through the process to see what we might be able to make available. And importantly, I think to keep in mind, payment plans are available. It's another good reason to get started early in this process so that you have more options and you can stretch that out into more payments. So the largest one is 10 monthly payments per year. So that can certainly be a nice tool for families as they're planning ahead. Of course, we hope that this session is not the only conversation that you have with us. There are a lot of ways to learn more about MPH, and we're happy to share those with you. If you go on the admissions website, connect with our parent ambassadors, kind of past and present parent volunteers who are really happy and eager to share their experiences with you. That niche profile that I just mentioned, we're in the process of uploading a lot of new and updated information to that as we speak, so be sure to check that out. We've got parent and alumni reviews and a lot of good information there. The MPH Snapshot, if you haven't seen that yet, is our weekly newsletter that shows you, a lot of the photos you've seen in this presentation, this recording today, are from the Snapshot. So it really gives you a great peek into what life is like here and all the amazing things our students and teachers are up to. And of course, the admissions team, everybody who's on this call today, this recording, we're very excited to hear from you, to answer questions that you may have. It's what we're here to do, and it's really the joy of the work that we do here at Manlius Pebble Hill. So I'll pause on the screen for just a moment so you have all of our contact information, and we want to thank you. We know it's a busy time of year. We hope that this recording was helpful for you as you learn more about Manlius Pebble Hill, and we hope to hear from you soon. So once again, thank you for joining all of us today, and have a great afternoon. Take care.